This news story is about a military operation carried out by Nigerian troops under the banner called Operation Whirl Stroke. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is Operation Whirl Stroke? It is a special military task force set up to tackle security challenges like armed banditry, terrorism, and communal violence, especially in parts of north-central Nigeria, such as Benue, Nasarawa, and Taraba states. So, what happened in this particular operation? On March 26, 2026, troops from the COAS, Chief of Army Staff, Intervention Battalion 11, carried out a targeted mission in an area known as Agasha. This operation was part of what they call a pre-wet season offensive. Now, pause for a moment. What does pre-wet season offensive mean? In simple terms, it refers to military efforts conducted just before the rainy season begins. Why is this important? Because during the rainy, wet season, farming activities increase and rural communities become more active. Unfortunately, this is also a time when criminal groups may try to take advantage of farmers or disrupt agricultural activities. So the military is acting ahead of time to make sure farmers can work safely. But let's ask you this. Do you think these pre-season security efforts are enough to protect farmers in rural communities? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Back to the story. The troops received credible intelligence, which means reliable information, about the presence of suspected terrorists in the Agasha area. Acting on this information, they moved in tactically. This means they didn't just rush in blindly. They planned their movement carefully to avoid danger and ensure success. When they got to the location, they cordoned off the area. In everyday language, this means they surrounded the place so that no one could escape. And what was the result? They successfully arrested 3 suspects, Sule Ibrahim, Salmanu Risco, both from Nasarawa State, and Abdul Karim Haruna from Jos. Now, here's an important question. Do you think arresting suspects like this helps reduce crime in the long term, or is there more that needs to be done after arrests? Let's talk about what the troops found during the operation. The items recovered include 1 AK-47 rifle, 2 magazines for the rifle, 27 rounds of ammunition, a Techno mobile phone, a cutlass, 10 sachets of alcohol, and assorted charms. This is quite a mix of items. The presence of a high-powered weapon like an AK-47 suggests these suspects may have been involved in serious criminal or terrorist activities. But what about the charms? In many parts of Nigeria, charms are sometimes associated with traditional beliefs, including protection or spiritual fortification. However, in security contexts, they are often found with individuals involved in violent or criminal activities. What do you think? Do these charms actually influence behavior, or are they just psychological tools? Let's hear your opinion in the comments. Now, the suspects are currently in military custody. This means they are being held for preliminary investigation. Basically, the authorities are trying to gather more information from them. After this stage, they will likely be handed over for prosecution, which means they will face trial in a court of law if enough evidence is found against them. This raises another important question. Do you have confidence in the justice system to properly handle such cases once suspects are arrested? Why or why not? At this point, if you're finding this breakdown helpful and want more simplified explanations of major news stories like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future updates. Let us continue. The report also highlights that troops are maintaining what is called an aggressive operational posture. Now, that might sound technical, but here's what it means in simple terms. The military is staying active, alert, and ready to respond quickly to any threats. They are not waiting for criminals to act, they are taking the fight to them. They are also dominating the environment, which means they are patrolling and controlling the area to make it difficult for criminals to operate. The goal here is clear. Deny criminals freedom of movement, improve safety for residents, and ensure farmers can carry out their activities without fear. Do you feel safer knowing the military is actively patrolling these areas, or do you think more community-based solutions are needed? Another key part of the story is the commendation from Major General Moses Gara, the force commander of Operation Whirl Stroke. He praised the troops for their professionalism, their resilience, and their sacrifice. This kind of recognition is important because military operations can be extremely challenging and risky. But let's reflect on this. Do you think soldiers in such operations receive enough support and recognition for their efforts?
Now, let us zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This operation is not just about arresting 3 suspects. It is part of a broader effort to stabilize rural communities, protect agricultural activities, and prevent food insecurity. Remember, when farmers cannot safely access their land, it affects food production, and that affects everyone. Have you noticed any impact of insecurity on food prices or availability in your area? Share your experience below. There's also the issue of intelligence gathering. This operation succeeded largely because of credible information. This brings up an important discussion point. How can communities better support security agencies with useful information without putting themselves at risk?
In summary, this news story highlights a proactive military operation aimed at improving security ahead of the farming season. 3 suspects were arrested, weapons and other items were recovered, and the military continues to maintain a strong presence in the area. But beyond the facts, it raises deeper questions about security, justice, community involvement, and the long-term solutions needed to tackle crime and terrorism. As we wrap up, here is something to think about. What do you believe is the most effective way to achieve lasting peace and security in affected regions? Military action, community engagement, economic development, or a combination of all 3? If you found this explanation useful and want more in-depth breakdowns of important news stories, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let us keep the conversation going in the comments. Your voice matters.